Hello and welcome back to Let's Talk More on Monday. I am, as always, your podcast host, Chloe, and we are continuing our Issue 10 Contributor Chat series, where we sit down with the contributors that made Issue 10 of More Influence happen, and we dig into their pieces, what they mean, and the surrounding story. So today I am joined by Devon and Cara, both of whom are professionals at the Indianapolis Repertory Theatre. So welcome, guys. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Very excited to talk to you both. So I would love to start by having you guys introduce yourselves. Tell us who you are, what you do at the Indiana Repertory Theatre, and anything else that you would want to share with our listeners. We'll start with you, Devon.
Yeah, sure. Happy to start. So my name is Devon Ginn. I'm the Director of Inclusion and Community Partnerships. I've been with the theater for just about 3 seasons. And when I'm not doing inclusion and community partnership work, I'm writing poetry. I am collaborating with friends on different projects and just enjoying the space of arts and enjoying the culture of art in Indianapolis.
Yeah, it seems like it's really thriving these days, which is very exciting.
Oh, yeah.
How about you, Cara?
Yes, I'm Cara Hinh. I am the somewhat new still Associate Artistic Director here. This is finishing up my very first season here at IRT, but I'm originally from, thank you, I'm originally from Indianapolis and grew up here and have been working as a freelance director and arts administrator for the past 13 years and am now back home and happy to be back home and here at the IRT.
Amazing. Well, thank you both so much for joining me today. We're very excited to talk to our contributors, and you guys have answered some questions for me. I put this piece together, so I was really happy to be able to do that because I have a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Musical Theater. I have also a strong theater background.
Okay,
So
BFA, let's go.
So yeah, when Ariana came to me and was like, will you write this piece? I was like, girl, obviously, I got you. So, but you guys provided some really wonderful feedback on my questions. So we put together a piece that I'm really excited about for issue 10 of Influence. And if you're listening to this and you haven't picked up your copy, definitely go do that, because otherwise, why are you even here? So let's get into the questions a little bit. I'm so excited to get to talk to you both because I feel like you're going to have a really good pulse on some of the nitty-gritty that we want to get into surrounding the Indiana Repertory Theatre and some of the work that you guys do. So either of you can answer this first question if you both want to give your perspective. I would just love for you to give me a quick overview of what the Indiana Repertory Theatre is all about.
You want to go? You go first, Deb.
I was gonna shoot it to you.
Okay, fine. I can go first. I mean, the Indiana Repertory Theatre is the state theater of Indiana. We are the regional theater of the state. We're the largest theater here in the state, and we make beautiful, professional shows and a musical now every year. Beyond just making shows, though, we also serve, I think, over close to 20,000 young people with our student matinee program every year. And we have summer camps and do a ton of community programming, which I think, Devon, you can talk a little bit more about.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've been around for over 50 years, and like Cara had mentioned, we produce a mix of classics and contemporary plays, always with the goal of telling stories that resonate with the community, right? And beyond putting on those shows, we're deeply invested in making sure that theater is accessible to everybody who wants it. And we do that through our ancillary programming. So we've got some community ambassadors that we engage in. We've got a variety of partnerships that we collaborate with. So it's lots going on here, and that's why folks love the IRT.
Yeah, you talked some in your answers about some of the ways that you make theater accessible, which I think is very exciting as somebody who works in the disability field and has that theater background. It's just so important to be able to open your doors to everybody that wants to come. So you had talked about how you have American Sign Language interpreters, you have sensory-friendly shows, observation rooms. How new are those features for your program?
We have actually been engaged in working with our access consultant, Tallery McRae, since 2017, right?
Amazing.
Yeah. So we've been, and I think that's something that, as I was like making the decision to come and join and be part of the team here at IRT, was seeing that this work that is like very central to like my own like work as a director, is like core to the institution. We, value inclusion, diversity, equity, and access. And I think that's like a big core part of who we are.
Yes, yes.
It's so important to keep fighting for it when, other people are not.
Times is hard, to quote that musical.
Listen. And
That's
luckily, we also have access to this collaborative opportunity through the Access Pass, which gives folks access to the theater for $5, depending on where folks fall on the tier of the socioeconomic status. If you qualify, then you can access this beautiful art that we create for only $5. In addition to that, as mentioned, we've got those sensory-friendly performances, just trying to think of the holistic experience of anybody who comes to the theater to explore it and engage in this artwork. How can we make this an easier experience for folks?
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of those lower price points, and Cara, you had mentioned the tens of thousands of students that come through your doors. Tell me a little bit more about some of the education programming that you guys do at Indiana Repertory Theatre. It seems like an amazing program, and people should be exposed to theater when they're young.
Yes. So fun fact. I'm Dev. You can start eventually on one of these questions. But fun fact. I actually attended, when I was in high school, the like summer theater conservatory is what it used to be. And it gave me like some of my first pre-professional training here at IRT, which then helped me in my like career that then followed. So I am like a big believer in theater education as well, and know that it can change people's lives and careers. But our biggest thing is, and what I'm really proud of is Christmas Carol every year. About like 10,000 students come and see usually their first play ever as Christmas Carol. And I felt the weight and responsibility this year directing Christmas Carol to make sure that I crafted a world on stage for our students that like reflected the beautiful vastness of humanity, and really tried to dig in. But yeah, our education programs are really focused on getting students to the theater, getting that first touch, and then over the summer, making a space for kids who want to explore theater more deeply, to dive in. And yeah.
Yeah. And also, just a special plug, Cara recently directed this season's Christmas Carol, and it is absolutely amazing. You can tell that it was touched by somebody who has a deep love for the work and also interested in what the future looks like for theater makers. And the Christmas Carol was my introduction to professional theater, live professional theater as well. So the IRT is just so incredibly important, and I'm glad that our educational programs take such high priority, just because it's like we don't know who may be the next associate artistic director at this institution.
Or who's going to come to a student matinee and it begins their like love of theater, and then they are in all of their high school musicals, and
Yes.
end up where you're at too, Chloe.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even imagine the kids that come and see the shows and not only think like I could do this for myself, but think, that person up there looks like me, or this story is telling my story, and how powerful that can be.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that something that is I like representation is just at this point what I'm really glad about in IRT is like not something that we are like reaching for, but is like baked into our process, and something that we absolutely think about like in all of our processes of who is in Indianapolis, who makes up our community, and how do we find that reflection in what we're putting on stage.
Yeah. Great segue to my next question, which is take us behind the scenes a little bit of the decision making. How do you determine what shows you do or what programs you're going to pursue? And once you make those choices, what are your next steps after that?
Oof. So, choosing a season, it's part art, part strategy, and a whole lot of discussion. Our artistic team, which is led by our Margot Lacey Eccles artistic director, Ben Hanna, and our associate artistic director, Cara, of course, they curate a lineup that's based on the stories that are most urgent, what feels like they'll challenge and delight our audiences. And we want to make sure the artistic team as a whole wants to make sure that it reflects the diverse perspectives of the people in our community. So once the season is set, things really get moving when it comes to designers and crafting the world that the plays exist in and getting the actors cast and how we build those relationships with our beautiful community partners and expand the conversation beyond the stage. It really is an intricate dance.
Yes. And one that I literally spend some nights like staring into the void because I am like so distraught that we only have, we do 6 shows a year, and like figuring out what those 6 shows will be just like is enough to send you into sleepless nights.
For sure, because the possibilities are endless, but also 6 shows in a season, like when you have all those options, how do you just choose 6?
Yes. Oh.
And I think one thing that like guides us is, are we whose voices are we lifting up, and are we going to share an experience that is something that can create empathy, that provides deep insight, and also just like great storytelling. Like at the end of the day, we really do like the storytelling and the crafting of the story have to be great too. So
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that. I feel so often that some of the programming that's chosen, not always, not everywhere, but sometimes it is chosen based on money, what they think is going to sell tickets, get butts and seats, and it's not always the most, honest artistic choice. If I have to see one more production of Grease, I'm gonna lose my mind. Like, no disrespect to Grease, but they know it's gonna make money, right? And
yeah.
they can cast a bunch of people. Not to be shady, but
And you know what? That's why like I really love I'm sure as a musical theater girly, about the revival of Oklahoma back in 2019 that Daniel Fish did that really took the show, turned it on its head, included folks with disability on stage, just really transformed Oklahoma, which I think a lot of people up until that point had thought of sort of like a thing that community theaters did, or
Yep.
like one of those things, like you said. But I'm excited for in the future as we like think about as we approach classics or things that are like overdone, how do we reimagine them?
yeah, I think Christmas Carol is a great example of this story has been told so many times. How do we make it fresh? And
Yes.
I think there are a lot of great shows in the musical theater canon that could just use some trimming. They're great in their bones, but they've got some like weird racist subplots that we could just axe and they would be
Yeah.
good.
Oh.
So many actually.
Like an embarrassing amount.
Yeah.
So, Devon, you mentioned that you guys work with a lot of community partners. Tell me a little bit more about that. Who are some of the people that you're working with?
Yeah, so of course, we've got a program right now that's called the Spotlight Partnership. And through that program, we select an organization that aligns with the work that we do and our mission and our values, specifically in the realm of inclusion, diversity, equity, and access. And we boost them throughout the season, right? So last season, we had partners like Indiana Youth Group, we had partners like Flanner House. And this season, we've got a beautiful partnership with Girls Inc. of Indianapolis. And what happens is we give them we give them access to a promotional code, and they share that out with their constituents, and they build up a buzz for the show and give folks the opportunity to support their mission and their work through live theater. And with us being that particular catalyst, they get to raise some money, they get to expose folks to beautiful artwork, and we get to have that conversation in tandem, which is wonderful. But even deeper than that, thinking about some of the collaborations and partnerships that we've had over the years, and the ones that are super new to us, and then the ones that are long form and long standing, like with Tallery McRae, our accessibility consultant, helping us think critically about what it means to give folks access to this space. So we try to collaborate not only locally but also across the state and across the nation as much as we can, just to ensure that folks who want to see live theater choose the IRT as the main space to do that. And one thing that a lot of nonprofit institutions run into is having a thing that's rooted in affinity, right? And then divorcing themselves of everything that's connected to it. Hey, Black organization, you have an opportunity to engage in this Black play. And once this Black play is done, we kind of wash our hands of it and move on to the next thing. And we keep ourselves from doing that really intentionally so that those relationships are formed over long periods of time, and there's trust involved, and it's less extractive. It's not an easy lift. It really is not an easy lift, but it's a meaningful lift that makes me feel good about the work that we're doing.
Yeah, and impressive too, because part of theater's magic is that it doesn't last. It only happens for a short period of time. So how do you make that continue?
Yes, yes.
It's a good challenge to have.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and it's worth it. Our audiences, they deserve to see themselves reflected, and they deserve to be able to access this artwork. We say that this is your theater, and we don't want that to be hyperbolic when we say that, right? So we try to cut down as many barriers to entry as possible so that everybody gets to experience this. And thinking of partnerships and on the individual basis, our community ambassador program is something that has grown from 2022, a cohort of 8 to now roughly 30 people across identity strata. These folks work in a variety of fields, from nonprofit executives to practicing artists to boots on the ground activists doing that grassroots work, all of whom are informing the art that we're putting on our stage, which makes me really happy.
Yeah, that makes me happy too. Amazing. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Let's Talk More on Monday and diving into what IRT is all about. Before we go, tell us what's coming up next for you. What are you excited about? If people want to find you, how can they find you?
I'm excited. Our season announcement is coming up really soon.
La.
So stay posted so you can see what's coming for next year. And come at me on Insta. It's just my name, Cara Hinh. Follow me. I post about art sometimes, but mostly that's pictures of my dog now.
Yep, that's a follow.
And her dog is wonderful. I love a fur baby moment.
Yes.
So you can find me on social media at YoDevG, YoDevG. And we also encourage you to follow the Indiana Repertory Theatre at IRT Live. Right now, we've got on stage The Glass Menagerie. It opened last week, and it is a beautiful, beautiful story. So we want folks to see that before the show wraps. And of course, the season closer is going to be The Play That Goes Wrong. It's farcical, it's hilarious, it's absolutely absurd and ridiculous in the best way. So you want to make sure that you come and check that out as well.
Yes, I was telling Devon before you got here, Cara, that I am coming to see The Play That Goes Wrong in April, and I am very excited.
So much goes wrong, and I can't wait for everyone to see how hard it is to make something go wrong, actually.
Yeah, it goes wrong, but it is so right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both so much. And if you are listening to this, thank you for joining us. You're supporting our mission of making opportunities reachable for everyone. So we are going to dig deeper with Devon and Cara over on our Patreon. If you would join us there, you are also supporting us in keeping our internship program alive, which is very important to us to foster young minds and help them build their portfolios. So we'll hopefully see you over there. But thank you both again for joining me and for talking about IRT and issue 10. Make sure you pick up your copy. It is live now. And we will see you next week when we dig deeper with some other contributors. Bye, guys.
Bye.